Just to recall, I think about 2 months ago, actually, I mentioned about this Huawei's the new mobile OS. There's the Harmony's OS. Part system, because the idea at that time was actually just to have a sort of introductions with the update on the developments of the of the OS itself. So for this tonight's talk, I'm going to actually spend more time to actually look into the SMS website, and they have very good kind of presentations over there. And if you were to actually follow through the whole thing, you should be able to actually judge for yourself how complete is the whole OS ecosystem now. Yeah, and that is actually the purpose of this particular talk. So I think the timing also is a bit good in the sense that the P50, there were a couple of at least there were 2 occasions already they have delayed the launching of the P50 series. I think they were not quite ready yet, in the sense that I think the OS itself, they will still actually, I think, still have some problem. The other one is actually the hardware of the P50. Now, mainly is actually also, as you know, in my introductions, which is actually shown on the screen now. Because of the US banning of the trading with Huawei, there were actually a shortage of the 5G chipset, which is a Kirin's 9000 series. And I think they have only have stockpile about 8 million pieces. That was actually during the ban actually affected. It was, I think, last year, September, I think. There was a very last batch of the delivery from the Taiwanese chips making company, the TSMC. Yeah. So since then, the 800 million, 8 million pieces, they will actually use it for, at that time, there was the Mate 50 initial launch or so. So that one, I think they use up about 3 or 4 millions already. And subsequently, there was actually also the foldings, the folding screens model, the Mate X, and the Mate X actually now already into the 3rd generation, which is also due to launch in May also. That is next month. Yeah. And that was also eat up, I think, couple of millions pieces of the Kirin's 9000 series chipsets. So in other words, at the moment, everybody is actually speculating that maybe the remaining stock is also coming to about 2 or 3 millions only. And after that, there will be no more the originals Kirin's 9000 series chipset from Taiwan. Okay, so that was actually, I think everybody actually speculating on the what actually the situations of the stock. Now, before I proceed further, I want to actually maybe turn on the video so that you can actually look at one of the explanations about the chipset and so on. Let me see how am I going to go back. Now I actually have the full screen. Okay, let me go to the YouTube. I think this probably is the right video, I think.
无数国人都在为华为加油助威。那么，华为到底是怎么面对这一切的呢？或者说，华为为什么能直面外界的压力，哪怕是米国，它都能保证平稳的发展？其实说起来也很简单，华为之所以能坚持到现在，主要靠2点，其一是出色的技术实力。华为麒麟芯片到底有多少库存？华为手机到底有多缺货？一直是人们关心的话题。但关于这个问题，似乎没人能说得清楚。众所周知，自去年9月15日起，台积电无法再为华为代工芯片。余承东遗憾地对外表示，麒麟9000芯片可能会是华为旗舰高端芯片的绝唱。不过当时有消息称，赶在9月15日前，台积电出货了800万颗麒麟9000芯片，给华为手机争取了一段时间。在芯片停产的1个月后，华为顶着压力，在大家的期待下发布了华为 Mate 40系列。大家都明白这款手机的特殊意义，于是当华为 Mate 40上市之后，都在疯抢。但由于库存有限，华为 Mate 40系列一直处于缺货状态。花粉为了买到这款手机，不惜花高价钱，因此养肥了一群黄牛党。一直处于缺货状态的华为 Mate 40系列到底卖出了多少？今年2月份，有媒体发布了一份中国智能终端最受欢迎机型。华为 Mate 40 Pro 以451.83万台的激活量排在第4名，都无疑意味着华为 Mate 40 Pro 这一款手机就已经卖出了超过450万。要知道，除了华为 Mate 40 Pro 之外，使用麒麟9000芯片的还有 Mate 40 Pro 加和 Mate 40 RS 保时捷设计，总销量加起来必然已经超过500万台。绝唱麒麟9000芯片的库存即将告急。令人意外的是，华为最新发布的折叠屏手机 Mate X2 也搭载了麒麟9000芯片。考虑到华为 Mate X2 折叠屏也是属于高端旗舰系列，不使用麒麟9000芯片自然是说不过去的。在华为 Mate X2 折叠屏还未正式开卖之前，官网的预约量就超过了300万，开售不到1分钟就全部售空，至今仍处于缺货当中。虽然目前没有公布具体的售出数量，但销量肯定不低。按照已经开售的搭载麒麟9000芯片的机型来计算，800万库存已经所剩无几，甚至已经卖超了。但按照华为产品发布的规律，新一年上半年所发布的 P 系列将会使用上一年的旗舰芯片，也就是麒麟9000。所以就现在来看， P50系列将比之前任何一款手机更加难买。值得一提的是，前段时间有产业链消息称，华为将推出全新的旗舰芯片麒麟9000L。该芯片采用3星5纳米工艺打造，也属于麒麟9000系列，与麒麟9000和麒麟9000是挺像的，只是在这方面做了一些微调。而这颗芯片将首发于华为 P50系列。 同时，还有华为内部人员表示，华为 P5系列还有一定的芯片供应。如此一来，对于华为麒麟9000芯片到底有多少这个问题变得更加扑朔迷离。基于此，第一反应就是：难道麒麟9000芯片库存不止800万颗？又或者说，华为有其他隐情？昨日下午，华为副董事长、轮值董事长徐直军对麒麟9000芯片库存的问题做了回应。徐直军表示：“我们知道大家都很关心华为，华为的库存可以支撑华为活得更久一些。”虽然没有披露具体的数字，但看到这样的回应，也着实让人放心了许多。此外，对于大家是很关心的华为还是芯片是否会被裁撤或被卖掉的问题，徐直军也是做出了回应。他表示，就算芯片部门不赚钱，只要华为养得起，华为会一直养着海思这支队伍。所以，华为麒麟9000芯片到底还剩多少库存的问题没能得到答案，但从官方的回应来看，我们也不必太过于担心。而且华为将继续保留海思芯片，我坚信现在只要能够保住海思，就会有华为芯片崛起的一天。该来的还是来了，任正非做出决定，华为要转型。自从2018年开始，华为的每一步行动都牵动了无数国人的心。一方面是因为它是国内为数不多的科技型企业，另一方面源自于美国之间的博弈。按理说，一家公司与一个国家针锋相对，无异于以卵击石，而华为却偏偏坚持下来了，甚至还占据了上风。这不仅证明了华为的实力，还彰显了国产企业的风采。无数国人都在为华为加油助威。那么，华为到底是怎么面对这一切的呢？或者说，华为为什么能直面外界的压力？哪怕是米国，它都能保证平稳的发展。其实说起来也很简单，华为之所以能坚持到现在，主要靠2点：其一是出色的技术实力，让它拥有不输于美企巨头的底气；其二是坚韧不拔的奋斗精神，就算美国的措施再多，它也不会选择妥协，只会朝着自己的方向坚定地走下去。华为将这2方面做到了极致，在美国的压力下重生。如它依旧保持健康的状态。从2018年到2021年，整整3年的时间，华为经受住了外资考验，它可以说是生活知识的国产公司。花粉们的状也没有被辜负。不过，站在旁观者的角度来看，目前华为的处境并不是很乐观。虽然米国的规则无法击垮它，但是产品的比如说，受芯片规则制约，全球所有含有米国技术的厂商都不能自由地向华为出货，这直接导致了海思芯片的供应不足。而芯片短之后，华为的手机和通讯业务都没法正常发展下去，因为二者需要相关芯片的支持。对于花粉而言，这个问题同样会影响他们的日常生活。如今，华为手机供不应求，就算深受市场欢迎，也无法获得高销量。所以说，现在华为还没有真正走出困境，它要想重回巅峰时期，必须付出更多的努力。那么，在米国规则持续作用的局面下，华为到底应该怎么办呢？近日在全球分析师大会上，现在消息传来，让很多花粉都表示该来还是来了，人们做决定。上说是因为当事人任正非做出决定，未来将调整发展方向，以让软件减少对芯片依赖为影响。也说华为公开了在基本计划，芯片很有可能不再是它的重点化，取而代之的是各类计划的对驾驶车零部件和相关软件的力度。进一步证明了华为对软件研发的程度。华为是半导体芯片公司，而之后华为或许会变成软件开发商。对此，有些花粉发出疑问： 华为要转型，任正非和徐直军的态度到底是什么意思？其实任正非和徐直军的决定都是非常明智的，而且有着更深层次的含义，不能只看表面。大家都知道，米国在半导体市场占有主导的地位，几乎所有与芯片有关的企业都无法避免美企技术。这对于华为而言是现阶段最大的问题。它即便是能够走出一条技术自主化的道路，也需要漫长时间，对当下的发展并没有什么帮助。而政府只为华为规划的当下，目前给它提供了一个新的思路，能够面对的压力和为质量的选择，这个芯片产业不会放弃，自己不会一直打倒，就是从前到后这样可以到。其实现在的华为有点像苹果，硬件和软件实力兼备，将来很有希望成为世界的科技巨头。华为麒麟芯片到底有多少库存
Okay, I think the message is very clear. So it also explains why there was actually the delay. But on my side, actually, it tied up with my talk. If I were to actually give you all the information um, during the launch, I don't know whether the Singapore will be getting the share of the launch also. Then you can actually have all the information to decide whether you would like to invest on the P50 series. Okay, let me see. Meanwhile, I'm not going to actually look into some other video which actually related to the speculations on the P50 series phone. What are the feature and what are the things that actually expected from the new phone? Okay, what I want to do now is actually to go to the Huawei website to explain on the to start the core of the subject to actually explore on the HMS ecosystem. Okay, I have to get myself organized again. Okay, this is the official Huawei website for Singapore. I think for the major market, I think they have their own specific website. Okay, here actually show you what are the products that actually the family of products. And this is actually just a quick run through of all the different topics. So there are some heading over here. These are the topics that I would like to actually go through with you people. So from here, the last latest one actually Huawei introduced actually the Mate 40. I think it was around October that time. They actually make the launch with the Kirin 9000 series chipset. Yeah, and the P40 was actually back in early parts of 2020. I think somewhere in April or May. I think at that time I also have mentioned something. And then maybe I can just click on the model itself. And this one is the foldables model. I think this is should be the second generation, the XS. So now they are actually going into the I can't recall exactly what is the model number. I think it must be Max X2 or something like that. Yeah. So and this one also actually using the same series of the chipset also. So I think the P50 they they have to actually balance, you know, which one is more important to actually launch with a bigger quantity and so on. So the rest are actually all in 19 uh 21.9 and 21.8, you know, the Mate 30 and the P30. So all in all, I think Huawei actually have sold more than 300 millions uh, different flagships models of the handphone. And the early part, all anything that actually be, for example, for the Mate 30, for the Mate 30, it was still using the Google's Android system and also the App Store from the Google's. Yeah. So those are actually so when the new OS is actually introduced in May with the P50 series, the rest of the model, the old model, it's all up to the owner of the whether they want to actually switch their phone into the Huawei's OS, the Harmony OS. Yeah, their promise is actually, as far as it's compatible with the Huawei's OS, Harmony OS. Yeah. Okay, let's just look into this, the spec of this phone. I think it's quite interesting to actually look at it because um, you can actually see from the specification. I think look at the feature first. Huh? Okay, so it's a 1 minute I think you actually have some idea about the feature and so on. Yeah. Let's go to the how to get out from here. Okay, we start off with the physical size. Most of the Huawei product actually is not the largest screen actually. In average, it's about 3.5 inch to 6.5 inch to 6.7 inch, and weight also is not the heaviest also. It's around 200 grams plus or minus, yeah. And weight and the thickness is slightly thicker than some of the Samsung's products, but nowadays the Samsung product also getting thicker. Probably you can actually recall that there was a Note 8 or Note 7. There was actually some problem with the battery and so on. So subsequently, they don't emphasize so much on the thickness, or rather how thin it is. You know, I think they also go around between 8.5 to 9 mm thick and so on. So it's quite a standard one, I think, uh, compatible to the others products and so on. Okay, so the display, as what I mentioned just now, is 6.76 inches. Yeah, and the color resolution is very good, and this is the screen resolution is also very good. It's a full HD is actually stand for full high definition. So that is a pixel for the length and the width. And the other one, of course, we are talking about the Organics LED, the OLEDs. By the way, the OLEDs are actually all, they are not importing the panel actually. There is a company called Jingdong. It's actually in China producing billions and billions of these organics LED already. And the quality is actually even better than the LG of Korea. And the other one actually is getting more and more carry more attentions is actually the refresh rate. This is actually on how many refresh cycle actually the phone can actually refresh itself. Now, why it is so important? Because on certain application like the for example the display unit on the autonomous vehicle, the electric car, you must actually have a faster refresh rate so that you can actually read the latest situation on the screen, you know. Yeah, so and that means it must have a even a faster processor to actually to not just provide a very good quality still screen, but you also actually must have actually a very good refreshing so that you can actually see more or less without any lacking in the time. Of course, the other area actually is important is, for those people who are playing the the video games and so on, those people doing gaming, the processor are all very high power and they can actually refresh very fast. Yeah. This is more on the sensing of the touching and so on. Yeah. So the latest one, before the 9000 came out, actually it was only, they call it the 900 series. And that one by now actually is considered is very outdated already. So in the 9000, they actually have a different chipset also. I think they call it 9800, 9600, and 9500, and so on. for different use. And this is actually talking about how many core actually inside there. And they are, of course, these are actually all talking about the ARM architecture, ARM. Okay, so this is actually, so they have many core, and then you know, depends on the demand, they will actually have a good combinations of the different each actually each core is actually have different kind of uh, chips inside. So some are actually to take care of the very specific kind of function. For example, for communication, the bandwidth, the whether it's actually taking care of 4G, 5G, or Wi-Fi, or whatever it is, you know. And Wi-Fi also, they have different setting also with the AX, AC, and then the N, and the early one, and the BCG, and all those, and so on. Yeah. So, and that is one of the thing that I mentioned many times, because last time I didn't have the chance to actually really go through all the specification, because many of you were actually asking why such a handphone is such a compact and small device and it's so expensive nowadays. Yeah. And why is even sometimes it's more expensive than the laptop. But you can actually see that, you know, the demands on the handphone actually is actually higher than the laptop. The laptop, you can actually really have a very super computer and so on, but those are not for everyday use. I think more for the scientists and those people doing computer science, that they were using those. Yeah. So, but for the handphone, you cannot saying that, you know, your handphone can only operate on the 5G, and then you don't actually work on the 4G kind of environment. Reason is, you know, you carry the handphone wherever you go. So when you go to a place that they only have 4G, then you can you must actually have the 4G support, so that you can still continue using your handphone in such a location or such a country. Yeah. Same thing also when you're at home, you don't want to actually rely on your mobile's network. You, you want it to actually switch to your home Wi-Fi's network, which is less costly, you know, in terms of consuming the data. Yeah. So that is actually what you can actually see. It is actually getting a very high-end kind of products. Everything must be actually compatible, must be actually system-wide, it must be compatible to each other. Yeah. So that is the thing. Okay, let's go further down. Okay, now talking about this EMUI, I think I have actually mentioned in my previous talk also. Mainly this is actually the interface program for it to able to communicate with the Android's OS. Yeah. Now, before actually even up till now, there was days before they actually introduced the new series of the P50, all the older model, they were all still tap on the Android's OS. And they are able to do it because Android's system is actually an open source system, and everybody can actually use it. Yeah, that was actually the reason. Yeah, because at that time the Harmony OS is not yet perfect, so they they were actually still using the Android. And the other good reason for them to actually continue using the Android system OS at that time is actually to get people to be able to get themselves continue with the accepting familiar kind of base OS, so that they don't actually have to encounter a completely new system, and they will not be able to actually get themselves able to operate on the new phone. Yeah, so that was actually one of the things. However, this was like something that not really appreciated by the some of the user when they actually buy a new for example, let's say last year the Max 40 series. They were complaining that how come they claim that they are actually using the Harmony system, and it looks so similar to the Android phone. So a lot of them were actually commenting on the website, saying that Huawei is a copycat. Even after they launched the Harmony OS, how come it looks so familiar and looks exactly same as the Android system? So you can actually see that how difficult to actually get the consumer to be able to actually type over to a new system, and then in the gradual form, so that they will not be completely lost, and then they will actually reject the new operation system. Then of course the other way around is actually people accuse that without understanding the rationale behind, they would just accuse that Huawei is actually a copycat of the things. Okay, now the next part of the hardware is actually the RAM and the ROM. I think this one, all of us actually familiar. The higher the value, the better, I think. Yeah, that means you can actually run more apps at the same time. You can actually do a lot of multitasking. Yeah, so that is actually the thing. The same thing also, initially people are saying that, why a tablet or handphone, why we even actually use 8 GB of RAM and so on. Yeah, when the notebooks, Windows notebooks, you don't even actually need 8 GB of RAM. So again, that is actually quite a different kind of story, because the, the communication network and so on, that really requires a higher RAM and so on. And then when you doing multitasking, you actually open up as many as 10 to 20 different applications program running in the background. Yeah, so that is actually the thing. And then of course the other one is actually the storage is also very important, because people keeping thousands and thousands of photographs and music on the phone and so on, which they will not do it even uh, on the computer itself. Yeah, and if they actually have a backup copy, they will put it into an external hard disk also. Yeah, portable hard disk. So you can actually see that so the whole thing, the environment, the requirement and actually the demand for handphone is always more severe than the laptop computer. Okay, the other one is actually we're talking about the cameras function also. Yeah, I think if Ben is around, I probably can actually comment better. Yeah, same thing also. Camera is getting more and more important. Yeah, even if you are not the guy that actually taking a lot of photograph, a better camera, it has become so important. So let me explain item by items. Okay, for a normal guy who is actually using the camera for their own, for the taking of photograph. Now our requirement is actually most of the photo is actually, let's say you have an object, mainly your friends, your audience, or or if you go traveling and then you take some, mainly also taking photo with yourself in or with your family member in. So that is a basic group of using the owner actually using the camera phone. But then you have people that who are demanding a better kind of feature. For example, they want to be able to take some photograph of the birds on the tree and so on. Then their requirement for the telephotos lens camera will become very, very important. It is no longer talking about just taking an object, let's say about 10 feet from yourself. You are talking about a few hundred meters away, and you still want the clarity. And don't forget that, your object of a bird is also smaller than a human being. And you still expect it to actually have good clarity that you can actually see all the detail of the birds, whether the
Yes,
whether the
yes,
eyes
yes, yeah.
and so
The
forth.
system is 26 times a day. Then
Okay, so you can actually see it. And then the other group of people are actually talking about you must have a very high shutter speed because they go for skiing. They may mount the camera on their equipment, and they are skiing all at very high speed from the snow hill. And for that reason, you must actually have a very good fast auto focus kind of system that you can actually capture very good scenery and so on, as you go down the slope. Yeah. So for that reason, just to use a camera as a feature to keep some images, you can actually see that, the demands to serve every category of people, user, is already such a wide scope. Yeah. Nowadays, you don't even don't talk about just taking photograph in that sense. Your camera, they are actually using it together with the artificial intelligence feature. And what does it mean? That means you actually use your camera to capture somebody's, to compare different faces, and from there you can actually identify yourself from a different person. And why you are doing that? The very first thing you know nowadays, there's a face recognition is so important because you use it to actually unlock your phone. And if your camera is so lousy, how are you going to actually use it to unlock your phone? So you can actually see that, besides taking photograph, now it also have another duty for the camera. There's actually another feature that is so important. Yeah. So you lock it and so on, and immediately you can actually access to your bank account and so on. Yeah. So if you don't have such a high-end handphone, you will not be able to actually have this security feature. Yeah. So can you imagine, would you be actually willing to pay $1,000 over, $2,000 a phone, which nobody can break into your bank account? Okay. So beside that, we also use it for actually other use also for the artificial, the AR kind of AI kind of applications. Yeah. For example, documents also, you must be actually able to actually do some changes on your text. You must be actually able to do the OCR kind of function, so that you can actually whether to turn a picture into a soft copy that you can do the editing and so on, and you can do a signing a signature in it. Now a lot of people are actually signing on PDF documents on the screen. Yeah. And they will actually have to, your signature must be good enough that you can actually go past the security screening also, and it become a document that is recognizable by the bank or your customer and so on. So you can see that the handphone itself actually have a lot of importance duty to help you with your works and to help you to make money. So of course it's going to cost you money as well. Yeah. Okay, then this is still talking about the Zoom and so on. I think a lot of you, I think, also very familiar with all this and so on. Yeah. Digital Zoom is not so acceptable. The reason, as you zoom in, actually your picture quality actually getting will certainly getting very blur and so on, and the depth of field is not there anymore if you do rely on digital zoom. And that is why it become that you actually have to use an optical zoom. An optical zoom in the past, the lenses become very complicated because they are using a whole series of lenses to pack them together, and then it become a module of the cameras itself. Yeah. And that with then they were actually able to change the distances between the lenses, and then it will have different magnifications power, and that's how you can bring in distance object to a very near close up and so on. Yeah. And with these two together, combined together, then they actually call it the hybrid zoom. Yeah. So it's just like a vehicle also. You mix petrol with the battery's energy, then it becomes a hybrid car. Yeah. The same kind of term they are using. That means, luckily they don't use it hybrid human being. So a half man and half woman. Okay, then okay, this talking about the image resolutions on the camera. You must be able to actually capture more pixels, and this is particulars are very important if you want to actually see very good picture. Movie what I'm talking about, yeah, video. If you don't have actually have good resolutions and you don't have a very fast number of frame per minute, then you will not get good quality kind of video. Yeah, and a lot of us now don't watch the videos or the movie or your drama series on the TV. Many of them actually watching it on when they were actually taking a MRT to work, and many of them actually watching the to to catch up with the everyday's series of drama. Yeah, so that is why it also become very important to actually that it can support a very high number of frames and so on. You can actually see it. Yeah, so this is frame per second. Yeah, so you can actually see that, you know, why it is so expensive for the phone again. Yeah, just a camera module itself is equivalent to what is it? In we call it the SLR, single reflex camera. Yeah, so and it must be light and it must be easy to handle and so on. You can put into the pockets, and of course, don't forget also with all this kind of requirement and so on. That means they also eat up a lot of your battery juice also. So how to actually make the battery last longer? And that come to why they actually have to develop the CPU from 900 Kirin 900 into 9,000. Reason is they actually pack all the circuitry in the microchips closer together. In other words, if you're magnifying the edges and the circuits on the microchips, you can actually see that there were a lot of track on it, you know. And just imagine, you know, if we are to actually use that track as the street or the roads of a city, and your car is going to run through all those tracks, how much petrol you have to spend? Same thing also for the electron, you actually have to move through all the tracks in the microchips. How much heat is it going to generate? At the same time also, how much energy they are wasted. And for that reason, they are putting all the track closer and closer together. And at this moment, they are actually reaching the size of an electron already. They cannot go any further. And that we call it, whether you are using 14 nano circuitry or they are using 9 nano or 7 nano or 5 nano. Yeah. And for the Kirin 9000, they are using 5 nano technology, which is the narrowest track that is able to go into commercial productions. And you know what actually the people are actually doing it in the TSMC, the chip maker in Taiwan. They are now actually already testing on the 3 nanos circuitry. And the limit is actually coming to really the ends of that technology already, because you cannot go beyond smaller than 1 nano. When you talk about 0 nano, mean the 2 electrons will actually touching each other. So you cannot actually have an electron running on the track that is actually thinner than the diameter of the electron. So you can actually see that, we are facing the wall now, and that is why they are actually now also looking for new material for the new material for making the future microchips. Yeah. And probably you may ask me, what is that material? I ever talked about the solid state battery. And I have actually mentioned many occasions already. That is the graphite material. We call it the graphene. So that one, I think I have actually explained in 3 or 4 occasions during my talk. Yeah. So it's very interesting. Now, the next generations of the electronics, it will be all into solid states. They are no longer using gold wire or any copper tracks or any other things, because there is no longer able to serve the demands of the circuitry itself. Okay, so there is actually, from here, I want to actually emphasize that, it is a very demanding job to actually for the camera. Yeah. Okay, then the other one is actually talking about the rear flashlight and so on. I think the important parts are actually what I have actually explained already, I think. So, okay. So normally, the rear cameras is actually the better camera, because that one is actually that we are using it for the zoom, we are using it for the telephoto lens and the close up and so on and so forth. Yeah. And the front one, normally we are using the so-called using the selfie and kind of purpose. So you don't normally get good picture, and neither do you expect a nice picture also, because the angles and if you are taking a photograph with your arm length kind of situation, the angle itself is going to cause a lot of distortion on your face, on your body, and so on. That's why you have a very big face and then with a very small, skinny body. Yeah, when you actually are taking with a selfies kind of photo. Okay, so then they're talking about the front camera and the rear camera. That is actually, this is all the front camera. Yeah. Okay, I think that one is actually, oh yeah, I forgot about the so-called the AR, VR also, virtual reality and all this, and augmented reality and so on. So these are all the different things that you need to actually a very sophisticated camera that come with the very fast processor to able to create the result. Yeah. Okay, then battery. Is that battery is important? Of course. Without battery, without the power supply, your headphone will be dead. Yeah. So you can actually
Found a few bathroom supply stores near you.
how do I get rid of this? Same example. Whether I actually left out anything. Okay, so for the battery, okay, I think it's a typical size also. Although some mobile phone with a bigger size, they actually, I think they use mainly for tablet and so on. They go up to 7,000 milliampere hours. Yeah, this milliampere hours is actually the volume or the quantity of energy. Yeah, that's why you 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 actually multiply the number of hours also. Indeed. So it's ampere time hours means the amount of energy. Yeah, the current is actually the energy per second. So that's why you have to actually change into the ampere is actually we're talking about amounts of currents per unit time. Yeah, I forgot about the name of the so-called the basic unit for the energy. I think will start with Q. I can't recall now. Yeah, it's like it's like water. Water, we are talking of the volume of the water or how many grams and so on, right? 1 liter and 1 kilo is almost the same. Yeah, depends on the density of the water. If you are ice water, probably is more dense, more than 1 kilo. If you put 1,000 cc. Okay, so that is that. And then people, all of us are very sort of we always want it faster. We have no time to wait. So when it comes to charging, the best is if we plug it in 10 minutes, we get fully charged already. And sometimes 10 minutes also impossible. So they charge 5 minutes and they get half the capacity. They are happy. Then they can go and catch the MRT already. Yeah. So more and more handphone come with a very powerful power adapter. And this is to make sure that they can charge faster. It used to be 10 or 20 watts kind of power adapter. Nowadays, most of them got getting about 50 to 60, 70 and so on. And why? And because of this, a lot of people, when they charge at night and then sometimes they find that their room catch fire. Yeah, they want to charge faster and the battery cannot take it. It will eventually explode and the whole house will be in fire. Oh yeah, then another thing is actually this IP, can't remember what is it actually stand for. It's a measurements of the higher the figures, mean the better waterproofing effect. Yeah. So if you get a 68, I think which means you can actually drop the thing into a fish tank, and then for how many minutes, and you take it out, you shake it, and it still work. But those without IP number, if you drop it inside, then probably you have to buy a new phone. Yeah. Now, of course, why this become important? It is not because they have it for you to actually able to wash your handphone under the tap. Not for that purpose. Neither do they actually have this standard to actually saying that you can put the thing in your pocket and you go swimming or something. Actually, it is not for that purpose. So for the handphone, nobody actually claim their handphone is actually 100% waterproof. They normally have this standard of 68 or 67 and so on. And now it's actually a sort of minimum requirement. And why they are actually using this particular specification, we all want it to be airtight. We all want it to be waterproof and so on. For a watch, for example, although it is say 100% waterproof, Rolex watch, but how many actually put their Rolex watch into a swimming pool and then take it out and then see whether it work or not, or put in the shirt pocket and then put into the washing machine and wash it? And some are very happy, they didn't do it on purpose, but if they have forgotten, take it out and then finally they're able to do that, they are so happy, yeah, it worth that, to pay $10,000 for a watch that actually I can actually wash it in the washing machine. Okay, the important thing of this is actually, if you are taking photograph or you are working in an environment which is very, very damp, very high humid kind of situation, you still, for example, even sometime when you are taking on a special occasion, let's say if you go to able to climb up the Himalaya and then you want to take some good shots and so on, and it was drizzling, you'll be cursing yourself, your camera, your handphone is not waterproof, because you take it out and you want to take some good shots, you have to get somebody to actually carry the umbrella next to you. Yeah, so that is why this become important feature. So you can splash it if you go water skiing, you go snow skiing, that kind of things. So the splash proof, they don't call it waterproof anymore. It become important. Okay, now here you can actually see for a network, for Huawei's phone, it caters from 5G all the way to 4G, 3G, 2G. Can you imagine? The reason, in China, today you may be actually in Shanghai, 5G everywhere. Tomorrow you may be actually in Tibet. Maybe some villages only have 2G. Yeah. And then you have dual SIM card. This is mainly for the European, because they travel from one country to another. Then another network they have to another SIM card and so on. Even in ASEAN country, a lot of people are actually in the morning in KL, in the afternoon they are in Brunei, that kind of things. So they change different network so that they don't have to pay the roaming. Yeah. So you can actually see that, this become the requirement because they spend a few $100s more for dual SIMs. They save a lot of money on their roaming network. Yeah. And sometimes also not working properly and so on with the different roaming. Then you also have to, you can look at this also. Yeah, these are all the Wi-Fi standard. A, B, G, N, A, C, A, X. This is the fastest we can get in Singapore. That means they call it the 1 GB fiber broadband. The rest of it will be the mini in, mini out kind of thing. These are all talking about the antennas kind of thing for the mobile network. So you have to use multiples. I think some the AX you have 6, or the good one you have 6 or 8 small antenna on the device itself. Yeah, and this actually cater for all the very high frequency kind of signal. Yeah, they call it the mini in, mini out kind of thing. This MU, I'm not too sure what is it now. I can't remember. Yeah. And you see, then the next one is you have Bluetooth also. And Bluetooth will become also very important. Last time Bluetooth only use it for doing some phone-to-phone connection, right? And nowadays, Bluetooth, you can use it to turn on your speaker, listen to music. Yeah. And also Bluetooth to if you have a earbud, they call it the earbuds, so you don't have to the cordless phone. So you plug it in. You don't have the cable dangling around your neck. So you can actually use the Bluetooth, very important. And Bluetooth don't use so much battery. But some also still complain because the trace together apps, you have to turn on the Bluetooth all the time. So a lot of people say I don't want to use the apps. Yeah. So that is a thing. So now Bluetooth, you can connect you to a Bluetooth mouse, Bluetooth keyboards, Bluetooth speaker, and if I don't know, maybe one day a Bluetooth screen. And you also want that the latest fastest all USB also. So you want the Type C. So at night you don't plug it. You don't plug it in the wrong direction. Not like the old USB. So these all you have to pay loyalty. People developing all these things, and this is a consortium actually developing all the USB connection. I think if I remember correctly, mainly HP, IBM, and Acer, Lenovo, and so on. Yeah, the people actually have that group of technologies that actually look into all the USB connection. Yeah. Okay, then USB Type C for the phone. Yes, another one. Then you also have another set of antenna, that is the near field connection. So you can see that such a little device, you need all this. And how frequent we use the NFC? You only use it actually for connecting to your printer or the scanner. So near field, yeah. You don't even actually use it for actually shopping and payment because this one is not so secure. Yeah. And this actually, when you walk into the departmental store, they can detect you because of this near field contact. Because some shops actually have you can they actually using this technology to actually to protect people bring out unpaid goods and it also detect your presence also when you walk past because your handphone you carry also if you turn on this one they can detect it and they will send you a SMS ask you telling you their location. Then of course GPS connection. So you can say, look, never ending. I thought it's almost finished. Then sensor, yeah. So you can see 3D face recognition, gravity sensor, infrared, all kind of thing. Gyroscope. You can also see a compass. So you can see there are lots of things. Depends on. I think, yeah. Nowadays even for the COVID-19, you actually take temperature everywhere you go. So you look at this. If they're going to charge you $1,500, if you add up all the equipment that you're going to buy, is it going to? Are you able to get all this with 1,500? I don't think so. Yeah, fingerprint sensor, everything all. So next time when you buy a phone, you just pay, don't complain. Now, all the different standard, the software all support for you. Yeah, and some more. Oh, this is important. This cloud storage, it is part of the ecosystem also that every mobile phone will actually provide. Whether it's chargeable or free is another story, but you must provide this also as a ecosystem. Yeah. Okay, I think that is about the end of the thing. Yeah. So you can actually see that, yeah, please, if you really want to buy something, go to the respective. So far, the Huawei website is actually the most comprehensive. They really give you everything. Okay, we have to quickly go into the HMS. This is the Huawei mobile services. Now, this is equivalent to the Google's GMS. Yeah. Now, Google's being the first one to actually enter into the handphone. So they have all these terms already established already. And if Google's call GMS and Huawei we call HMS, are we copycat also? I'm not too sure. There is no intellectual property saying that we cannot call it. If I want, I can also CMS, is Chua mobile services. Just like my little store, I can call any name I want. Okay, so that is why they call it the thing, and they are using this so that people read it immediately, they more or less know that what is actually is inside, what is the package of these mobile services. You know, so that is actually they are using terms that actually very similar to uh, the the pioneer that actually using it and so on. And I think we should not quarrel with it, saying that we are not allowed to use something that is so ambiguous and something that we become a copycat because we name that way. Yeah. Okay, from here you can actually see that the important one are slightly open up already. Now, there are many of all these things to read, So you actually, I think after this talk, I would suggest that you go explore it yourself. Yeah. So for Google services, why Google's actually are getting so much money is because, if you want to buy a phone using Google's OS, immediately you have to first register yourself with the company. In other, you open an account. Just like if you want to store your money in the bank, you have to open an account. If you are going to trade, buy stock and share, you have to open up an account with SGS. Yeah. So everywhere you go, you open up account. So when the child is born, you open up a birth certificate with the government to register the born of your kids. So you open an account also, and then help you to claim your rebate. So you have the account, and then these are all the core already. You can actually see it. Yeah. This actually the Huawei's shops. Yeah. And there are many different things over here. The X is actually only part of it. Yeah. Then they actually they have a lot of wearables thing, heartbeats and how many steps you walk and so on. Yeah. So this will actually inside there. So team is actually more on your lifestyle. You want to change a different your mobile phone ringtone or the wallpaper, different theme. You can change the different background color and so on and so forth. Yeah. So, and when you open up an account, when you sign up for email, you have an ID. So everything, we have so many ID. And the most important one is NRIC. The rest don't protect you. You only spend money only. You go to the shopping center, you sign up for an account, then you shop more, then you will accumulate the point for you, free parking, or give you a voucher. Then you go and spend some more. Okay, same thing also. You redeem your members what they give shop, so they collect and they give you some gift. There's provided you buy some more. So the apps gallery is actually equivalent to the Play Store of the GMS. Where you get all the apps. Okay. So let's go down. Then you personalize. This is so-called theme. You can download the home screen, the wallpaper, and different kind of thing that you are fanciful to make it you look unique from others people. And carry one device is not good enough. Nowadays, we want to carry handphone, we want to have a watch, we want to have a tablet, we want to have a laptop, and we want all these talking to each other. So whatever I serve on my handphone, when I on my bus to go home, then I'll turn on my tablets, and everything in the day I actually serve, everything will be actually on my tablet also. And you can start doing your homework already. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. The system itself, the so-called HMS or the GMS, will help you to do all this. It sync across all your devices. So finally, when you are home, you turn on your laptop, everything will appear on the same place also. So we all become very busy from one device to another device, but reading the same thing. Okay, so there is this question and answer. I think we skip it now. So what is HMS? All the explanation are here. Now, so you can actually see here, this is actually another thing you actually see it. Now, most of the mobile phone company, they always have the so-called music, because they make a lot of money from music. When there's a new top 20 songs, then people go and download, then they make money. Then after that, you're sick of it, you delete it, or you change phone, you forget to transfer, so you have to pay again. And then cloud storage, they need this actually, and they always give you some free storage. For example, Google's, you can actually have unlimited storage of of all your poor quality photograph, video, clips, everything. They don't stop you. I think Yahoo also, I think. Yeah. This one I'm not too sure what is it. And also books, I think. And these messages. So you see, all these are actually all into the ecosystem. I clicked the wrong button. So, okay, this is something that is actually very, very important now, because I think whether your OS is successful, whether the OS will be acceptable, a lot of weightage actually go on to what other apps can you offer. Without the apps, the handphone is as good as a piece of glass. Yeah. So you want to use certain apps that required by your day-to-day running, or your business, or your way of communication. Yeah. In the past, you may be making a lot of phone call. Nowadays, you're making more text information, transmission of text, or sending a photograph. Yeah, or even you take your message on a voice mail and you send it out. So very important. Different kind of ads to support your lifestyle. And some are actually our lifestyle actually now is actually captured by the society. Yeah, I think since April, all your bank account, they want you go digital. If you, they don't even want to send a statement to you. So if you want, you have to download a soft copy and you have to lock it in yourself. Otherwise, they will keep it there for 1 year and then next time if you want a copy, they will charge you. I don't know how much they charge. I think some actually keep it for you for 3 years or something. Okay, so apps are very, very important. You can actually, you see. So good thing, being a new company like Huawei to actually set up their own OS and then their apps gallery and so on. Of course, you don't expect that overnight they are going to have so many apps to compete with another organization who actually been there for 10 years already, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so can actually see it from here. And at this moment, I do not know the other GMS got how many categories. Here they say they have 18. And it cover from games, education, lifestyle, daily essential, fashion, and more and more and more. Yeah, I think more or less they may group in a different way and so on. I do not know. But when you actually have too many groups, also very difficult for you to search for the one that you want. But if you know exactly what you want, it is also good also. When you go there and under education, maybe they have already thousands of them over there. Still, education grouping is not enough. They have to become more refined. Yeah, self-education. Yeah, school education, tertiary education. I don't know, adult education. Yeah, all kind of thing I do not know. So fashion and lifestyle, is it different? So you can see important thing, you actually go into it and then at least you can be assured that actually probably every one of us maybe have 200 apps on our machine, on our device. And out of these 200, maybe 100, 95% of people have the same one. Yeah, at least when you are staying in Singapore, you know that what are the apps you will put, right? Maybe SP, then all the bank, depend you how rich you are. More bank, then you need to add more apps for the bank. And some bank have 2-3 type, whether you are very important customer, they they class you depend on how much money you deposit with them. So they give you premium account, they have priority. Yeah, prime account, all different kind of classification. Depend how wealthy you are. So some apps you are not qualified, for the bank. POSB and DBS apps are different. Okay, so they say for all the apps. I think from here you can actually see some. I think if I remember correctly, there's one feature. By the way, if you have already have the Huawei phone, you can actually come here and then check what are the things that you want to install, and you can actually identify yourself with the QR code and so on, and then you can download already. See, so this is actually the Huawei shopping bag. Yeah, they always ask you to give something, not just take, not just for your own self. They encourage you to give people money. Okay. So this is also another important thing. The for example, Google's or Chromebook, they emphasize a lot on the security thing. Yeah, they can't afford that, you know. All the while, all the user have the account attack and so on, breakthrough, and suffering losses. Okay, then this is ever increasing. I think they claim that I think they have I don't know 2 or 3 million apps already. I can't remember exactly how many. Yeah, and if you find that, you know, if you go through all the thing and then you cannot find the one that you want, then you just add in there, and then they will try to actually, if there are sufficient some people ask for it, Huawei will approach. If it is, for example, ABC Bank, a lot of people are customer of that bank, and you will find that they don't have an apps for Huawei apps gallery. Then you can put down there, and they will go and approach the ABC Bank saying that, you know, hey, you have a lot of customer that asking for your apps, you know, and they are using Huawei mobile phone, not not others phone, and they will hunt it for you, or at least approach the organization that they should put out their apps so that they can actually attract more customer. Some people may not want to go to ABC banks if they don't have the apps, right? Okay, so they are all the different kind of things. So their apps actually for roaming and so on. Right? There are many type of apps. So many things, you know, is actually if you go to different country and then you need that kind of apps. And of course, you also actually say, yeah, I want the apps that when I go to Korea, that I can help me live better over there. This of course commercial kind of thing. You buy the earphone, you buy the headphone, they make money from you, and then some more, you go and sign up all the apps. Some you have to pay, some maybe don't need to pay, but they use your data for commercial use. Then of course they have to give you something. So the more apps you use, especially the pay one, then they will give you some gift just to show the appreciation from you using their X gallery. Okay, if you are good in writing, creating X, you can join the developer group, and they will give you all the different kits.
Oh,
You
but she had to what? Oh.
to do the things. Okay.
Grant, can I ask a question?
No, you have to unmute yourself first.